fouseytube
Yes.
has been arrested and hospitalized.
Yes.
It's very sad.
Yeah, bro, this was sad to watch, I felt.
This guy's so entertaining, it's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Why is it sad to watch?
Just watching this guy fall apart.
Who is this guy?
So
I
he's
didn't
a
know who he was
very
until-
popular YouTuber that then became a very popular streamer slash YouTuber and has recently been doing a subathon where he's just streaming nonstop. You've probably seen clips of him. They've been popping up everywhere. But
Car
it's just
crash.
Schulz put it the best way. Like every single interaction he's having with people on the subathon is just, how do I turn this into a train wreck?
So my question is, why do you feel bad for somebody who's intentionally trying to do this?
Because people have started to suspect that he is just truly going insane.
Yeah.
That he's having like a mental health crisis, and as a result, he was Baker acted in Miami where he was doing the subathon and was arrested live on camera.
I feel like you have to be sane at some level to like, every interaction, let me make it a moment.
So this is what he was eventually arrested for. So basically, he calls 911 and tells them that he's in a hostage situation. He has a gun to his head, even though that wasn't the case. After spending some time convincing the dispatcher that his life was indeed in danger, 4 police officers showed up to his hotel room. Then he claimed that his mother was in danger and someone was calling and threatening her. And then he's been talking about that he has a stalker, that people are following him. He's been like displaying signs of paranoia.
So he's just like making up shit.
Well, there's also another streamer that is talking to him and is calling him and telling him, like, I know where you're at, yada, yada, like, da, 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 da. So then he calls and he says, I'm going to ruin your life. Like, he calls the cops on himself in a weird way.
It's hard to tell what's real and what's not.
So he
all
just
of this
exaggerated to get the cops there quicker?
Yes, very much so.
I think you got to look at it like this. It's like in the streaming world, the currency is really the amount of people that are watching your stream, right? So it's like, how do you maintain those people watching? So it's like, you have 10,000 people watching. How do you make sure those 10,000 people don't tune out? You have to have a car crash every single second. And what he was doing is, I think he was doing like a live stream throughout the entire day. So he would just be filming himself constantly.
Multiple days.
An IRL live stream. There's
Right.
like a few of these guys doing that. Like Aiden Ross is another one of them. Yeah.
Ty
And,
became the biggest doing the subathon, though.
Yes.
And so he's doing a subathon also, streaming nonstop.
So I would see like people would clip his stuff and they put it up on Instagram, they put it up on YouTube, et cetera. So I'd see all these fucking clips and there's no question it was so unbelievably entertaining. I mean, like every single fucking moment. And granted, I'm seeing the clips, so I'm seeing the most wild shit. But it's just every interaction is heated emotional response to every single thing. It's like the reason why I laugh so much at Dove when we're just hanging out is everything is at 10 with the emotional reaction. You leave a cup out here with some juice in it, you don't throw it away. He doesn't come to you at a 5 like, hey, can you throw away your cup? It's, I'm not going to call the cleaning lady at all until everybody agrees to clean up their cups. This is fucking ridiculous. We're going to get roaches. We're going to get bugs. I'm going to get some sort of disease. I won't be able to see my family. I'll never be able to see my family again. And that is this guy on a million on every single interaction. And he is producing it day after day after day. Now, I don't know what it takes in order to give that type of energy. Do you need a substance? Do you naturally produce that and you need a substance to take you down? Like some people who are manic can naturally produce those moments. But the cost is eventually you have to pay that debt, right? You're taking a debt.
I assume either substance or mental illness to keep it going at that high of a level at all times.
It's shit. Like, if I know, if he knows that there's a reward to these interactions, it's like, hey, I just got to act up. Like, to me, that's the most sane. If you know, I just got to yell and be erratic every time I engage with a person.
But most sane people still have a line.
Keep people online.
No,
but
like if you walked around naked all over Times Square and did a subathon, you know you could get whatever the fuck, make millions of dollars. You're not going to do it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Now we're talking about like where people's morals are and what they're willing to do to attain the fame.
I would say it's not just morals. There's also sanity involved.
I don't think so.
I think there's enough sanity that he's aware. And I think that
This is the same guy who thinks you never got the flu ever in your life and you just missed days.
Well.
That's a good ass point.
Yeah, I mean,
well, let me finish. I might get you on my side.
I'm doubting my point.
There is enough sanity where he's aware of what it leads to the success. And then there is enough, I don't want to call it insanity, but he's missing enough of something that allows him to be way more shameless than the average person would. Now, does he get there with drugs? Does he get there with some sort of mental illness? How does he get there? I don't know. But the average person would feel some sort of shame in the situations that he's putting himself in. And maybe when he's sane, he doesn't feel that shame. Or maybe when he's not on a drug, he doesn't feel that shame. Or maybe when he is taking his meds, he doesn't feel that shame. But I think that naturally as human beings, behaving in a way that would ostracize the group usually evokes some sort of like uneasy disposition in ourselves, right? That's why we feel guilt. That's why we feel awkwardness. That's why we feel discomfort, right? And it's appearing as if he doesn't feel it, and that's why it's so hard to look away, because you're like, how could someone be so comfortable in this situation that would make me feel so desperately uncomfortable? And for a streamer, that is perfection, because I can't take my eyes away from the guy doing the thing that I would never want to do.
Yeah. In a purely objective sense, entertainment only.
I mean,
it is.
If you look at Speed, he's incredibly good at this as well. You know, like barking at somebody. Now, he's aware of what he's doing. I believe at least he's aware of what he's doing. But he also knows that if I behave in a way that isn't congruent to just normal social practices, it's going to draw eyeballs. Yeah. And what's interesting about him is that now people expect that behavior, so it reduces the awkwardness. It was more awkward in the beginning, right? When people thought that he was just this absolute maniac. Now they're like, hey, you do that funny thing where you act in like an awkward way. Can you do that? So I wonder if now it's even easier for him to play up the character because it's the expectation is set. Now you're not being awkward, you're being Speed. And we love it when you do that.
So could this be like a situation where Fousey, sorry, he's trying to find his line.
I think, Fauci was accused of similar behavior. Though.
Yeah,
I mean,
Fauci
fuck Fauci. No. But is he trying to find
just
his
6 feet away from everybody with a mask on?
Do you remember when he had that mental episode where he told everyone 2 weeks to flatten the curve? This fucking remember that when he had this breakdown in DC? Yeah.
But do you think he's maybe trying to find his line like how Speed has?
The character and the Insanity are all in one at this point. I think maybe that's the point.
And he's been an online personality for a while.
But that's the thing. Didn't he have a lot of success and then went away for a while? And now he's trying to gain it back, and he doesn't really know how to gain it back.
And then he's like, "Oh, this is working. Let me lean in." I think what I would say the one difference between like him and like a Speed is, it's very evident that Speed is behaving in a manner that is not congruent with normal practices for human beings, and Fousey, it doesn't seem like he's aware of it.
Yeah.
Like,
really?
Even, whether he is or not is left to be, known, right? Like we have a conversation with him, and if he goes, "Yeah, dude, I was just running it up. It was crazy. Like everybody was watching. I took over the fucking internet in 5 days, so I had to keep on taking to another level, another level. It's like an OnlyFans girl. You start by showing the titties, and then 3 months later, in order to keep the OnlyFans, you get fucked in your ass. So starting out with one thing and heightening it. So maybe he has that conversation with us. But for Speed, for me, at least whenever I've watched some stuff, I'm always like, oh, this guy knows that this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if we're off camera, he'd be like, dude, I'm just going to dive into my laptop because it's such a ridiculous thing to do. I think people will just laugh in a clip about it.
And that's what I thought.
I also think Speed wouldn't.
That's what you thought he was.
That's what I thought.
I also think Speed wouldn't do a 30-day subathon all the time because he turns it on and off. He picks his spots. He's not doing that all the time. And he, you know what I mean? Like, as a sane person, he's going to be really, he's probably really quiet when he's not being Speed.
Numbers are up, so he maybe doesn't have the need to do a subathon. Fousey's trying to get his shit back, right?
Fair.
So.
I don't think Speed would do a subathon because he just,
Yeah, it's similar. You can just watch the video. It seems very like he's not aware that he's maybe in a mental health crisis.
Yeah. Is he acting crazy or is he crazy? And it's hard to discern. And that's what the police arrested him for, is basically to figure that out.
And that's also why he's so incredible at it, because you don't know. Like, you're like, fuck, am I watching somebody who's crazy, or am I watching the greatest magician ever?
And the cops have showed up to Speed before, and the cameras go off, and I'm sure Speed is like, yo, I'm doing a thing. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'll cool off. And then he doesn't get arrested. Yeah. But the fact that he got arrested is like, he never turned the act off, which means it's not an act.
I think the act was different. Like, he called the cops saying somebody's holding a gun to my head. That's a false, whatever. Like, that's actually a crime. So they had to.
But when the cops show up, he doesn't calm down and go, "No, guys, you don't." He just is fully still
in the
moment. In it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know.
But it's really
the fact that I think one way and you guys think another way is like
This is why you
that's
can't
why,
stop watching
yeah.
it. You just can't stop.